right, hey, what's up everybody? Hey, there's some things that are super important I want to talk about today, and through conversations I've been having with people, as a personal trainer and at the gym, I'm starting to, I've realized this for a while, but it's really, at the forefront of my mind, and I want to make a video about this. Is I feel like people are struggling with understanding how metabolism works, how to estimate how many calories we're actually burning in a day, how many calories we should be eating, and how this works. Because at the end of the day, losing weight or gaining weight has to do with a positive or a negative energy balance. So for the sake of this, I'm going to talk about losing weight. And when I say losing weight, I mean losing body fat, right? That's what we're talking about. That's what I'm talking about, is losing body fat. That's what most people want to do. In order to lose body fat, it has nothing to do, for the people in the back, I'm going to say this again, it has nothing to do with whether you eat carbs or whether you don't eat carbs. Carbs do not make you fat. Sugar does not make you fat. Eating carbs or not eating carbs has nothing to do with whether you gain or lose weight. There is one thing that predicts whether you gain weight or whether you lose weight, and that is if you eat more calories than you burn, you are going to gain weight. It doesn't matter if those calories are coming from carbs, whether they come from fat, or whether they come from protein. If we are eating more calories than we burn, we are going to gain weight. And it is physics that if we are burning more calories than we are consuming, we will lose weight. It has nothing to do with if we eat fruit or if we eat gluten or if we eat dairy. None of that matters. What matters is, are we burning more calories than we are eating? I have lost 20 pounds over the last year, and I eat close to a half a loaf of bread a day in the anabolic French toast I eat, and a sandwich and other things. So eating bread has nothing to do with whether or not you lose weight. What matters is that we find a way to sustainably eat in a caloric deficit. So with that said, with that prefaced, I'm going to break down our metabolism. How do we know how many calories we should be eating? So the majority of our caloric burn each day comes from our resting metabolic rate, or our RMR. Your resting metabolic rate accounts for 70% of all the calories you burn in a day. Okay, 70% of our calories that are burned each day has to do with our resting metabolic rate. What is that? It's the amount of calories we burn just existing. If you were to lay on the couch and not move and just watch TV and not move at all, you would burn a certain amount of calories. That amount of calories is your resting metabolic rate, and that amount of calories is 70% of your total calorie burn. Okay, so I think that would be important for us to boost that, right? So how do we boost our resting metabolic rate? We gain muscle. Adding muscle to our frame will increase our resting metabolic rate, and that is the biggest portion of caloric burn in our day. So if our goal is to lose weight, we need to not be scared of lifting weights. Lifting weights should be a huge part of our weight loss journey, because we know that gaining muscle burns more calories, okay? The rest of our calorie burn, that other 30%, is broken up into 3 other categories, okay? Outside of resting metabolic rate, we have our non-exercise activity thermogenesis, or NEAT is what they call it. NEAT actually makes up for most people about 15% of our total calories. And what's that? That is things like walking around the house, brushing your teeth, folding laundry, doing the dishes, fidgeting in a chair, sitting up, sitting down, all the things that we do normally in life that we don't think of as exercise. We don't think of these things as being active. A lot of us think as going to the gym is being active. And while that's a great way to burn calories, it's actually one of the smallest amounts of calorie burn we get in the entire day. So the more active we can be up and moving around throughout the day, the more we expend through NEAT, which is a great way to add more calories out in the day, which is going to help us lose weight, right? If we can put more calories out and put less calories in. So we have our resting metabolic rate, 70%. Around 15% is our just moving around, doing life, right? Then we have our exercise. And our exercise is very small. Now it varies, these aren't set in stone, but it tends to be roughly around 5% of our total calories burned. It's not a whole lot. So what we can do is, yes, stay consistent with our workouts. Those workouts are going to burn more calories. Moving more outside of the gym and being active those other 23 hours is going to burn even more calories in the long run. And putting muscle on our body while we're in the gym and prioritizing resistance training is going to be the gold standard. Okay, now the last part, and a lot of people don't realize this, is the thermal effect of food. I don't know if you knew this, but digesting food burns calories, okay? So one reason why protein is such a great macronutrient to focus on is, well, for a few reasons. One, we get satiating effect of it. It is hard to overeat protein before you feel full. You're gonna feel full way before you can overeat in calories, right? So that's a benefit. Second benefit, it takes a long time to get converted into sugar in our body. It has a higher thermal effect of food, meaning that about 10%, it's roughly 10% of the calories digested from protein get burned up through the digestive process, okay? Carbohydrates have about 6% of what we eat get burned up in the digestive process. So if I ate 1,000 calories of carbohydrates or 1,000 calories of protein, I'm gonna burn way more calories digesting the protein than I am the carbohydrates. So another reason why having a high protein diet is really beneficial. In the long run, we can burn a lot more calories by taking advantage of that thermal effect of food, okay? So when we look at a full day, a full spectrum, and there's a lot of equations you can do online to get an idea of what your resting metabolic rate is. And then from there, we have to add in what our non-activity or non-exercise thermogenesis is, what our exercise is, and then the thermal effect of food, right? So if we can focus on eating high protein diets, we're gonna really take advantage of that thermal effect of protein plus the satiating effect of that food, right? So for those of you who are scared about putting on muscle, we need to realize that our resting metabolic rate is the biggest contributor to how many calories we're burning in a day, okay? I hope it gives you an idea of really how to spend your time, make smart decisions in the kitchen, be active, be healthy, take your time, set realistic goals, and stick to it. Consistency is key. See you guys in the next one.